It's a great pleasure to be here today, to see so many colleagues from the media world in the audience, so thank you very much for coming. I also have to say what a huge pleasure it is to appear on this podium with my very esteemed colleagues from across the interagency, so thank you to the Foreign Press Center for this opportunity. I wanted to pick up on some points that Liz Sherwood-Randall was making, and Laura Holgate, about the way this is a very pragmatic and practical-minded effort. As we like to say, we are tackling the severe problem of nuclear terrorism, nuclear materials or radiological materials falling into the hands of terrorists in a very pragmatic and problem-solving way. I like to think of it as fence by fence, facility by facility, operator by operator. Across the world, we have been working with countries to ensure that we are minimizing the presence of fissile material. Another way to think about the data that Liz provided is to say that we have achieved a 50% reduction in the number of countries holding highly enriched uranium or separated plutonium since the start of this process. And as Laura said in her remarks, our work is never done, so we will be continuing to press forward with these efforts. But we have really worked hard in a very pragmatic and problem-solving way. Liz also touched on what we have done to enhance physical protection, but also to build up the capabilities of countries to protect their borders against nuclear smuggling, against trafficking in nuclear or fissile materials, radiological sources, and that has been very important. I was astonished to learn that we've actually put radiation detection equipment at 329 international border crossings, airports, and seaports throughout the processes that were put in train by the Nuclear Security Summit. But one point from my seat in the State Department that I wanted to emphasize for you also is that when we embarked on these efforts, many of the countries participating did not have a very clear sense of what they needed to do on the legal front to tackle this problem. In many countries, possession of nuclear material for sale was not a crime. So another area that we have put a lot of emphasis on is improving our ability not only to locate smuggled material and find the nuclear smugglers, but also to bring them to justice. And that has been a very important aspect of the work underway. We have been working very hard, for example, in enhancing this international understanding to bring some important conventions into force. We're working on the Convention on the Physical Protection of Nuclear Materials, the 2005 amendment, to get that into force, and we've had a great deal of success in that effort, of which you'll be hearing more in the coming days. So I just wanted to add to what Laura and Liz said by really emphasizing this part of the equation, that we have done a lot to raise awareness, and awareness at the highest levels among the top leaders of the countries participating in the necessity of a clear legal basis to work these problems, to bring smugglers to justice, to ensure that, in fact, we are putting people behind bars if they deserve to be, because they have been engaging in this kind of smuggling practice. So it's another facet. I'd like to pass the floor over now to my DHS colleague, who would like to talk to you about work that's being done inside our own borders on this very important problem.